What I'm about to tell you might make you a bit uncomfortable, but at the same time, it could also set you free. Your life, the one you're living right now, actually isn't an accident. It didn't just happen to you, it didn't just fall into your lap like that. It wasn't just bad luck. You yourself chose the life you're living. In the book I read by Material Deset, it says something really interesting about this. It tells us that your personality isn't just what we're seeing here. You're not just this body, or your story, or just this moment. You're truly a being, an entity, a consciousness, a light, however you want to see it, multidimensional. And that means you live beyond time and this space, beyond what our minds can grasp. And from that level, you made the decision about this life you're living before you existed, before you were born. You chose the circumstances you live in, you chose your environment, you even chose those challenges you had to face. And not from the perspective that it's a punishment or that you're a victim, but rather from the point of view of an experience. And that completely changes the way you can look at your problems, because then you take responsibility and you can't blame God for what happens to you, or life, or your family members, or your parents, much less society or politics, because from this perspective, you accepted and you chose this life. And this is exactly the moment when our mind resists and says, how could I possibly choose this suffering I'm going through, right? Because it's easier to be the victim, to think that life just happened to us, that this is the way we were meant to live and we just have to suffer, rather than accepting that we take part in the very creation of our own life. But if you look at it from a place of awareness, it's not a burden. In fact, it gives you the power to choose what your life is. Because if you chose it, you can also transform yourself. You took part in creating your experience, so you're not trapped in it. You chose it. You wanted to be here. And this leads us to realize that we're not just in this life, but that we do this constantly, life after life, simultaneously, in different times and spaces. And we do this effortlessly, unconsciously, just like breathing. We're living many lives at once. And that brings us to the fact that our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, all of them are shaping our reality, our physical world, all the time. And not only that, we're also connected. There's a collective unconscious where everything is an interwoven network of consciousness, because the ideas that come to you aren't just yours, they belong to everyone. They exist in other fields, in other currents, in other lines, and we simply connect to that information, choose it, and make it part of ourselves. And from there, that's where we build our reality. That's why so often we believe that's just how life is, when in reality it's the collective acceptance of ourselves. If you're free, if you're an interdimensional being, if you're constantly creating, the question changes. It's no longer, why did this happen to me? Now it's, what am I holding onto that's making me create this? And that question, well, it brings you back to yourself, to your power, to your personality, to your character, to your consciousness. Because life isn't just something that happens to us, it's something you're interpreting, choosing, and shaping at every moment. And obviously, because we have the veil of forgetfulness, we don't know at what point we chose to be here. But you can start by remembering something very important, that you're not here by mistake, that you're not here without any purpose, and that within you exists the ability to create something different. Because if at some level of existence you chose to be here, you can also choose how to live it now. And well, we'll leave this little reflection here for now. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a comment, give it a like, share this video with people you want to see change, and I wish you lots of abundance. Thank you.